so uncooperative right now. But it's okay. It's okay. Do the blah 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 setup. I am the C. I am the big C. Little C. Fuck. Hold on. I am the evil. Move up here. So my audio quality is a little better, even though it probably doesn't matter much in the long run. But it's okay. We're still doing tricks on it. The amount of tricks that we do are never ever ending and never bending. Or I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. I just be saying shit to say shit. We go check it. Sounds about right to me. Sounds good to me. I have the chat open even though I never fucking read it. Because the last time someone did pop up, they were being a piece of shit, so, you know. Yeah, I just kind of ignore it, and I know everyone's sleeping anyway, so it don't matter. This shit don't matter, didn't matter, never matter. Ugh. I'd wear a beanie, but I kind of want to flex here, so. Flex. Oregon State, so. I'm just saying, brain fart. I know it has nothing to do with me, but in the 2 weeks in a row that I wore a cosplay costume, the Beavers football team is undefeated. They won 2 straight. So, I'm not saying it's me, but it's definitely me. Which means they're going to lose again. To be honest, I don't really even watch the Beavers, so. I caught a little bit of that game. Because it was watching that while simultaneously watching Game 7, which I guess now is also a good time. Congratulations to the Dodgers. And Yamamoto, holy shit, you are that guy. You are that guy. And also because I have not been paying attention to the Canadian Football League, their playoffs are already in the roll. And BC, who I basically root for never, but I follow all the socials, so I keep an eye out for what they're doing. You could do it. Pull off the upset. Do it for the funny. You could be like Cleveland a couple of years ago when they beat Pittsburgh in the final week to get that playoff spot, and then you can beat them again. But you know what it is. Gavin, you shush. I told one of the group chats that while not impossible, I told the group chat, like, Baltimore could realistically run the table. I'm not saying they will, and they probably won't, because, you know, any given Sunday, anything's possible, and they still have 5 divisional games left on their schedule. But it's not impossible. Their 2 biggest opponents are near the end. It's New England and Green Bay, and they're inconsistent. They're winners, but they're inconsistent, and they're definitely gettable. And the Ravens are as serious of a team as we'd like to think they are, and not whatever these first couple of weeks to start the season were. They're as serious as we think. And this is a very, very winnable game. But anywho, we're getting ahead of ourselves. And I know Gavin's ass is never going to watch this anyway, so say what you want, Gavin. Say what you want. Oh, actually, I'm even looking at shit. I'm playing you this week in fantasy, Gavin. It's on. It's on. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Giant, big, floppy wiener. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Week 10 live stream of the 2025 NFL season and my prediction picks. I'm your host, the Blind Canadian Cat. I say meow. I roll intros. Hard to roll intros on a live stream, but you know what? We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. We are here live to you at 2 a.m. on the Eastern Standard Time. Here to recap a very interesting week that has put me in a very interesting position. And I'll tell you why. I actually have shit updated now, so I'm not half-assing this week. I have it in the system that I want to have it at. So, go me. Let's get this started. Last week, average to below average performance, but that's what you get. Upsets galore and more just what the fuck's going on anymore. That's the beauty of football. We are 10 weeks in and none of us are 100% sure on anything. Meaning Kansas City somehow is going to find a way to win the whole damn thing, aren't they? Probably. But until we get there, let's keep living on that hopium and copium that they somehow don't, because all these teams that look better than them are actually better than them. But with that, last week, 9-5 straight up, 6-8 against the spread, and 5-9 on the totals. Hot totals last week, middling totals this week. It is what it is. That brings my grand total. I don't know if I wrote that right or not. I can't even read my own handwriting. Funny how that works, isn't it? Okay, yep, I was right. Just double checking. That brings me to 85-49 and the one tie straight up. And funny enough, against the spread and over-under are the same 10 weeks into the season. They are both at 66 and 69. So a pinch under 500, but still right there, where a couple good weeks here and there will get us where we need to go. And with another slate of 14 games this week, anything is possible. So buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the Week 10 picks. Live on the scene. Starting off with the Thursday night game that I'm sure all of us are excited to watch. Las Vegas travels to Denver to take on the Broncos. I just bumped my mic like a jackass. Broncos are favored by 8.5, and the total's at 42.5. Now, Raiders gave the Jags a fight. Now, does that say more about the Raiders or the Jags? We'll never know, because we're still uncertain with the Jags. Denver, we want more, and we believe they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender team. But poor Bo, and this play calling sometimes, it's making us wonder, how far can this team go? Now, I'm not going to call Bo a bad quarterback, but I feel like I could probably name 10 different quarterbacks that if you put in that system, they're probably making you feel more confident in this team as a Super Bowl contender than Bo does. And again, Bo can get there. I do think Bo can get there. He just needs, I don't settle in, make smart plays, don't do unnecessary bullshit. And you don't have to be the best guy. Just make the throws that you need to make. And Denver's right there. That defense is phenomenal. Run game, when it's on, it's on. It can be inconsistent at times, but when it's there, it's there. It's just on Bo. It's just on Bo. And clearly they believe in him. They believe the receivers they got. They believe in the running backs they got. Denver's right there. And Vegas, yeah, they sold Jacoby. This team is pretty much mailed in. Even with the the competitive Jags game, when you go for it on 2 on that, you're already like, it's a win or lose, because ties do me nothing, and they're a waste of everyone's time. So with that, Jags and the Raiders selling, they're pretty much going to be on cruise control the rest. They're going to be competitive, obviously, but I feel like they're going to be pretty much cruise control either way. So without thinking twice, Denver's going to win this game, and frankly, I don't think it's going to be close. But that said, the Broncos are favored by 8.5. And this Denver team, even in a divisional game against a Raiders team, who I think are a lot worse than all of us thought they would be, I just don't trust Denver covering big spreads. That's what it comes down to. Denver is a good team. Denver is deserving of their 7-2 record. But they just do not cover some of these spreads. I'm sure Justin has the numbers somewhere on what their against the spread record is in the season, but it is just not good. I don't know. So against my better judgment, I will take the Raiders plus 8.5 here. It's a bit much. Now, Denver, if we believe they are the team that we think they are, should win by 14, 20, 23, etc., etc. They should absolutely dominate all three phases of this game. It just comes down to what is Denver's offense going to look like, because they seem to like to sleep through the first three quarters and then wake up in the fourth. They love to be sleeping lately, so what are we going to get from Denver? I think Vegas, at the very least, finds a way to keep this in stream. Or worst case scenario, they backdoor cover. I think it's very much possible. Line of the game is set at 42.5. Such a risky number. I'm going to go over. Mostly because I know Vegas' defense is not Houston's defense. Like when I took the over in that game, I figured, we get a little more. I think CJ Stroud going down in that game is what ultimately kind of led to it being a bigger standstill. But Raiders' defense isn't that good, so Denver should find points. In Vegas, Genty, Bowers, they should find something. They're not going to be nothing. They'll find something. So yeah, give me over 42.5. Think of like a 27-17 type game. I guess I have them covering, so 27-20. Or 24-17. Something like that. I don't know. Denver should realistically cover that spread, but I'm playing on the better safe than sorry side. So I'm giving Vegas that plus 8.5. On to the next game. I already forgot where it's being played. It's another one of the foreign games, the 9:30 in the morning games, because we all like to wake up that early in the morning. I mean, I guess for most people who work 9 to 5, getting up for this game is no problem. But I work overnights, so unless the game is to die for, I'm just sleeping through this shit, and I do not care. Which, with the Falcons, fuck the Falcons. They've pissed me off this whole goddamn season. I fucking hate them. But yeah, Falcons are traveling to be the road team against Indy. And again, it's one of the European countries. I don't fucking remember which one. Oh, is this the Germany game? This is probably the Germany game. I don't know. NFL's trying to globalize, but I don't think it's working as well. It feels like NBA, baseball, hockey are still beating you guys on a global scale. Football dominates the U.S. Not even close to any other sports. But outside of the country, yeah, good fucking luck. But yeah, Indy, is it a sign that Daniel Jones is crashing down to the Daniel Jones that we're all used to? Possibly. Probably. Land's got a good defense when it wants to show up sometimes. But I think that was more so a fluke. Trap games are trap games. Pittsburgh's got a defense. They have all this money on this defense, so they're going to show from time to time. And you're not going to win every game. Might as well get all the bad stuff out of the way in one game when you can. When it's bad, let it get bad. Toss the paper away and move on. And Atlanta is Atlanta. They try hard against New England. No way they'll have the energy, especially traveling to another country, to give that same amount of energy to another top 5 team. So, again, not thinking twice, not gonna, whatever. I'm taking the Colts to win this game. Now, if the Colts lose this game, we can start talking about them being on fraud watch and a team like Jacksonville or Houston to take the division back. We can start talking that. But until then, I'm not buying it. And Atlanta is also just a team, I don't know what the fuck to do with them anymore. They're good against good teams, bad against bad teams. It's a mess. It's a mess. And I don't know what to do with them. I just don't. OLine 6.5. Not my favorite place, but it's under 7, so I'll just lay it. I don't mind laying 7 to the Colts because, again, I don't give a fuck about the Falcons. They can eat shit for all I care. And a total of 48.5. I do think Atlanta's defense is fine. I think Indy will be better. Can Indy get to 30? I think they'll still find a way to get to 30. I think that's fine. But 48.5 is high, and I don't know what I'm going to get from Atlanta. Especially since Indy went out of their way to trade for Sauce Gardner. So hopefully their secondary is better. Hopefully Drake London doesn't burn them for 3 touchdowns like he did against Gonzalez in New England. Maybe. Maybe. Either way, I think 48.5 is a little too high for me, especially, again, European game. Those games are never that high scoring. Usually. I could be lying on my ass, I don't know. But yeah. Indy to win, they'll cover 6.5, under 48.5. 27-10 could very realistically be the score. Or if you want to get flirty, 30 to 14. Shit like that. Like, I think Indy should take care of business just fine. Again, 6.5 is risky because, again, I don't know what Atlanta team is going to show up, and I don't know if this Indy team that we saw last week is going to stay, or if that's just a one-time thing, or once every month thing, or whatever. I don't know. So I'm just going to trust that that's enough, and even if they do show up, Atlanta's not going to take advantage of that. That's my belief. Next game we have, the Jags are in Houston taking on the Texans. Texans are holding that 1.5 point favorite at home, and the total is a low 37.5. C.J. Stroud is officially in concussion protocol. He will not be playing this game. Davis Mills gets the start, and this game, even with C.J. Stroud, last time in Jacksonville was a dud of a game that went nowhere really quick, and now with Davis Mills here and no Travis Hunter for Jacksonville, I'm expecting another dud of a game. So before I even pick, I'm taking under 37.5. 17-10 is a very realistic outcome, regardless what side you're on. Or if you want to go 20-13, 20-17, something like that. I'm taking the under and I'm running with it. I don't know what I'm going to get from Texans offense, especially with Davis Mills. And Jacksonville, hopefully Jacoby Myers helps replace Travis Hunter for the next couple of weeks. But inconsistencies are inconsistent. Houston's got a great defense, so I'm going to roll with that defense still being good. As far as the actual game goes, again, I like Houston's defense. They're a top 5, top 10 unit in the league. They are a really good defense. Offense, now with a backup especially, I don't know how to feel. And now that we are past the halfway point of the regular season, I'm wondering where the hell Joe Mixon is. Because as far as I was concerned, that injury for his foot or whatever was supposed to be only like a month at max. We are now in week 10, and still no word from him. So what's going on, Joe? What's going on? But either way, this Houston team's kind of a dud, and now with no CJ, I have a hard time picking them. Do I think Houston could win this game with Davis Mills? Yes, I think it's not the most impossible task for them to do. But, gun to my head, Jacksonville just acquired Jacoby Myers. I think they gained more, Houston lost more. So, logically speaking, I think Jacksonville should be able to take this. So give me the Jags on the road to complete the season sweep against the Texans, who are unfortunately playing a backup quarterback. And again, line is 1.5 for Houston, so give me the plus 1.5. This is my first betting underdog I'm taking outright. We'll see how many more I take throughout the thing. But I'm keeping an eye out for you, Justin. I'm keeping an eye out for you. So yeah, Jags win. Jags cover plus 1.5, under 37.5. 20-13, 17-10. Hell, this could be fucking 12-6 for all I care. This could very, very much will be a low scoring, probably hard game to watch. Probably. Next game we have the Giants in Chicago taking on the Bears, who pulled the largest rabbit foot out of their ass that I could possibly imagine. After having so many rabbits pulled out of Cincy's ass to give them that win, Chicago found another rabbit and another ass. Make things work. Against the Giants, who have been essentially dead in the water since Scadaboo's been gone. And that's just the short of it. They've been very dead in the water. Jackson Dart's still trying. He's making a case to be the Rookie of the Year. Because, if you're a quarterback and you do decent enough, then they'll give you anything. Sorry, Mecca. Sorry, Tyler. You're not a quarterback. It is what it is. But yeah, Chicago dealing with secondary injuries, of course, so who knows who's going to be healthy. Giants have no one to catch the damn ball, so who knows. Wandale and the crew have been disappointing. What can you do? What can you do? So, because of that, and again, I think New York's been dead in the water. They're just riding off of Jackson Dart developing and hoping for the best. So keep developing, Jackson. I'm taking Chicago to win this game. Because, yeah. OLine, though, at 4.5, I'm not going to lie. This would be a very Chicago game to lose here. And coming off of the holy shit, how did we pull that off against Cincy? They might be kind of riding high on some emotions. So at 4.5, I'm willing to hold my nose and say New York keeps it interesting. If nothing else, New York's got a dangerous front four. Who knows how they're going to do. And Caleb Williams, when he can't get there to that first one as quick as possible, it's kind of a shit show. Justin was bringing it up in one of the group chats. Caleb Williams is not that good when he doesn't get to throw to the first guy he sees. So for that, I'm going to give New York the cover. I'll give New York plus 4.5. It would not surprise me if they pulled this win out. But for them to pull this win out, it's got to be an ugly game. And whether or not you feel that the vibe's going, I see a total as high as 47.5, and I'm thinking, yeah, if this were a different Giants team, maybe. If this was a healthy Giants team with Malik and Scadaboo, maybe. But they got neither, so I don't know where this number is coming from. Chicago's got weapons, but are they going to get used, or are all of them going to get the love? Who knows? Giants' defense is definitely a step or two above Cincinnati's. So I'm taking this under 47.5 in the Giants and Bears. 23-20. Your most common basic X score you can give. I think that's reasonable for this game. Could the Giants pull off the upset? Absolutely. But because they got pretty much nothing on offense and it's Jackson Dart in a dream, we'll see how it goes. Next game up, we have the Ravens in Minnesota taking on the Vikings. Baltimore as the road team is favored by 4.5, and the line's all the way up, and the total all the way up to 48.5. Baltimore is in we gotta go now mode, so they're not playing around with anything. Minnesota is in hey, JJ McCarthy, how are you? Are you real? Are you gonna do things and stuff and things? Well, shit, our defense stopped the Lions from any run game. And Jared Goff is inconsistent when he doesn't get a run game. So, hey, if we can stop Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery against that Detroit O-line, what are we going to do against the Ravens, who still have the most inconsistent guards out there? And Derrick Henry, who is not as fast as a Jahmyr or David is. Anything's possible for certain. Petro Carr might be able to help with the blocking, but that comes down to it. I think Minnesota's got a good defense, so I think they could rein Baltimore in to some degree. Their offense, they have good pieces. But if Baltimore wants to say who they are, this is a good test. J.J. McCarthy is a young quarterback with not a lot of reps. No reason that he should be excellent as he was against Detroit, or how he was in the fourth quarter against Chicago all the way back in week 1. I'm biased for sure. But if Baltimore wants to be taken seriously, they need to win at least the next 3 or 4 games straight. Get yourself back up to 500, and we'll see what happens. So with that bias aside, I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. Line's at 4.5. I could see a world where Minnesota keeps it close and interesting. Again, what Ravens defense are we going to get? I think that's the biggest question here. Can the OLine hold up against Minnesota's defense? And what is Baltimore's defense going to do against a Jefferson, a Jordan Addison, an Aaron Jones, etc., etc.? But 4.5, it's low enough. The Ravens want to be taken serious. They pretty much took whatever old yeller jokes you want to make about Miami. That's what they did for them. So 4.5, I'm going to run with it. I think they can cover it. If you want to save yourself the heartache, you can round robin or take alternate spreads. Take it at like 2.5 or 3, because you're better off with that. 4.5, it could get tricky. This could be very much game-winning field goal type game. So keep an eye out for that. Lions at 48.5. Again, I trust Minnesota's defense to be respectable. Baltimore's defense still trying to figure their things out. I don't know what we're gonna get. 48.5. I'm just gonna say that's too much for me. I think it's a bit much. So I'm gonna take the under. Ravens win. Ravens cover 4.5. Give me under 48.5. 27-20. It gets close. If it's like a 45, maybe I take that over. But at 48, it's a little too much. Ravens take care of business. Next game up, we have Cleveland in New York taking on the Jets. Browns and Jets, both shitty teams no one cares about. Cleveland's favored by 2.5 on the road. And the total's at 37.5, another low balling number. Jets just did a fire sale. Goodbye Quinnen Williams. Goodbye Sauce Gardner. Breece Hall's still here because fuck you, Breece Hall. That's why. Garrett Wilson's still here because fuck you. That's why. Yeah. I don't know, Jets. If you're trying to fire sale as much as you think you're trying to fire sale, then that means you gotta fire sale everybody. You're gonna get rid of Sauce Gardner, then yeah, you might as well get rid of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. But hey, maybe they'll be there to help your rookie quarterback you draft next year. We'll see. Again, with all these trades, it makes you wonder how much is New York really going to put in there. That defense, which was not that great to begin with, is going to get much worse. Cleveland's offense is kind of a like a doormat or whatever you want to call it. So it's whatever. But I feel like Cleveland's going to be a little more inspired, especially since they don't have to face some of the Jets' best defensive pieces. The road should be easier to do things with. And, Dylan Gabriel, questions are starting to become asked about him. If it's going to be his job, or is it, fuck it, we might as well let Shedeur take a try, see what happens. Eyes are on you, Cleveland. What are we going to do? So I think Dylan Gabriel steps up. I'm not going to say he's going to blow you away, but I think he puts up a respectable enough performance that it secures him his job at least another week or two. And Cleveland gets the win against the Jets team that's pretty much thrown in the towel. And at this point, it's just a showcase of, hi, I'm Justin Fields, I can still do things. Please get me out of here. OLine 2.5, it's low, and this would not surprise me if it was a 1-point win or a 2-point win, because this game feels like some 10-9 kind of game, 17-16 kind of game, some gross shit like that. But I'm taking Cleveland to win, so I might as well take the 2.5 and run with it. 37.5, it's a low baller, but I'm just going to keep going low with it as well. I can't imagine much coming out of this game. And I'm basically relying on Cleveland's defense to be, a good defense. And that's what I'm rolling with. Next thing we have on here, we have the Saints going to Carolina, taking on the Panthers. Panthers, despite it being a team that a lot of people are having a hard time trusting, are 5.5-point favorites, and the total's at 39.5. Saints are a joke. They got nothing, and then they decided to trade nothing. They got rid of Rashid Shaheed, and that's it. Kamara, you're stuck here. Chris Olave, you're stuck here. Both quarterbacks, fuck you. Figure something out. Cam Jordan, we're gonna force you to retire after the end of this season, probably. Yeah, the Saints are just kind of a shit show. Carolina, I still don't know what to believe in. Bryce Young, I still don't really believe in you at this point. But I don't know what to do. I don't want. I'll take Carolina to win because they have something. They have some kind of momentum, some kind of something. Apparently, Bryce Young can win a game throwing for only 100 yards. Rico Dowdle to the moon, baby. Pro Bowl year coming out for him. Good for him. Good for him. Tell Chuba your time's done. No more Canadian love. Sorry, Justin. And yeah. But I gotta be real. I know the Saints are bad. But I'm not laying 5.5 to Carolina. I can't. I can't. That's just gross. It gives me the ick. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. They should probably win this game by a touchdown or two. This could be a 17-3 game. I don't know what the Saints are going to give me. Probably nothing. It's a divisional game on the road. But I don't feel comfortable laying 5.5 to Carolina at all. I do not. Total game 39.5. I'm taking the under here too. A lot of unders on these 30 games, but it's like, what am I going to get? Anything can happen. A defense can go off and give you 14 drive position starting inside the 20, so, you know, hey, easy scores are easy scores, but a lot of these games just feel like gross shit shows. So, yeah, take your pick. Honestly, it looks like I've taken pretty much every under except for the Thursday night game. So, you know what that means? I'm bound to be wrong, and we're bound to get at least one shootout here. Yeah. Panthers to win. I'm giving the Saints plus 5.5 because I don't want to lay that on the Panthers. Under 39.5. Again. 13-9. Why not? Next game we have up, Buffalo's in Miami taking on the Dolphins. Bills are crashing a nice under double digit at 9.5 point favorites. And the spread at 49.5. Probably to shout out the Thursday night game that got to 49. Actually, no, that game got to 52, I remember, because Buffalo got that late field goal too to make it a 10-point game. But they're probably thinking something like that's coming the way too, which I hate to break it to y'all, Miami is phoning it in. And phoning it in hard. I mean, Tua might keep trying. Because, you know, he's probably going to be out of a job here soon. Which I don't think he cares because he signed that big contract, so he's still getting all that money. But Miami's phoned in. Buffalo's trying hard, and, you know, if they can get home field advantage for the playoffs, they're going to try their ass off. They got to deal with New England, but they'll have a rematch with New England down the line, so they just got to keep pace. And now with tiebreakers over Kansas City, over Baltimore, the 1 seed is right there for them if they really want it. So not thinking twice, Buffalo's going to win this game. Again, what motivation is Miami going to have to do anything? We know by now, no Tyreek, Ollie Gordon, who knows what's going on with him. Devon Achane can make it interesting, Jalen Waddle can make it interesting. But I just, no. Yes, no. I'll take that 9.5. I think this game will be a bigger blowout than what that Thursday night game was. I do. And because of that, I'm going to go under that 49.5. Another under. Yeah, I know. But I don't think Miami's going to do much. Now, this is a situation where Buffalo sat heading in the fourth quarter to make this 43-9, 43-10, something like that. I'm sure. Buffalo loves to run up scores. And hey, we got a Josh Allen MVP case to build up on, since apparently he's the betting favorite now to win it. So we got to keep giving Josh Allen all the statistical numbers to go along with hopefully stealing the division. Wouldn't it be awkward, all these numbers, and you still couldn't catch up to New England? Wouldn't that be awkward? Well. Yeah. Bills to win. Bills cover 9.5. I'm going under 49.5. This is very much 34 to 6. 40 to 9. 43 to 3. Some bullshit. Yeah. Hey, look, an interesting game that could be interesting for interesting purposes. New England travels to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. Both teams, I believe, are only 2 losses in the season up to this point. Tampa Bay at home being the 2.5 favorite, and the total being at 48.5. I still don't know what's going on with injuries for all of Tampa. We know Mike is gone. Chris should be healthy. Emeka should be healthy. I don't know anywhere on Bucky, so that. But Rashard White, Sean Tucker have done enough. They've done enough. So it's respectable. But this game could legitimately go either way. I like New England. They've done enough. They took care of Buffalo in Buffalo, so clearly they aren't this team that's just kind of scraping by weak opponents. Even though we were all criticized, even though we're all saying the same thing about Buffalo. Buffalo, New England, I don't know why you guys are arguing with each other. You both have exactly the same schedule. So, it's whatever. But I really do like this Tampa team. If they can get healthy, they could definitely make some noise. And especially when they're on rest, they just had the last week off. They're feeling good. I think this is a good get-right game for Tampa. And again, New England, they're young. They're going to have some hiccups. I think this is a okay game to have a hiccup on. I think it's fair. So give me Tampa to win this game. 2.5-point favorites at home. I'm going to take it. I'm going to roll with it. But I think this is also a good chance for New England to showcase what they can do against good opponents. So I think they put on a show. Tampa puts on a show. Baker and Drake. I don't remember. I got to imagine that the schedule makers found a way to make this be a Tom Brady broadcasted game. Because, come on. It was a perfect game for Tom Brady to broadcast. All the fun, all the sparks, all the highlights. So at 48.5 on the total, I'm expecting a show. Give me the over on this. I could very well see this being a 33-30 game. 38-35, 37-34, something like that. I could very well see this game going in that direction. I'm expecting fireworks. I'm expecting both teams to show up and show out. I am keeping an eye on Keyshawn Booty's injury, but I mean, Pop Douglas can pop up. Matt Collins can do his thing. Stephon Diggs is there. Maybe Travion Henderson will get more involved finally. And we'll see what's going on with Bucky. But I'm expecting fireworks, so give me the over on this bad boy. Tampa to win, Tampa to cover, over 48.5. I think both teams drop 30. I do. Next game on our list, we have Arizona and Seattle taking on the Seahawks. Seahawks are a crisp 6.5-point favorite at home, and the total is at 45.5. Seattle looked like they could be legit Super Bowl contenders based on that Sunday night performance. Like, holy shit. I figured Seattle was a lot better than Washington, but damn. That was belt to ass. Granted, again, Terry McLaurin was out. Luke McCaffrey broke his collarbone on the first play or some shit like that. So, yeah, it was a shit show. I see my good friend Nathias is in the chat. Hello, Nathias. Unfortunately, I did pick you guys to lose to Carolina, but because I don't trust Carolina, I did have you covering the 5.5-point spread. Where are you? Right here. 5.5 on there. So I do have you guys keeping it close and keeping it interesting. But let's be real. Your team is absolute garbo, and we knew this going into the season, so it's not surprising they are where they are. But I still have issues with Carolina, so I think they'll keep it interesting in a low-scoring affair. But anyway, back to Arizona and Seattle. Seattle. Again, with the Sam Darnold thing, you're thinking about last year with Minnesota. He looked phenomenal, and then it got to a winner-take-all game for playoff seeding. Fell short on that. Uh, Playoff game fell short in that, even though, remember, the Rams defense was really good last year, and they almost went into Philly and beat Philadelphia. That Rams team could have absolutely beat the Eagles in a playoff run where Washington did nothing against them and Kansas City did nothing against them. The Rams did. So that's a good Rams team. So that's on the back of your mind. With Arizona, Kyler Murray's injury, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but now all of a sudden he has to go on IR after already missing 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know what's going on with that. But Jacoby Brissett has looked great. I mean, I don't think he's won much. I think the Dallas win was his first win of the season when he started, but at the very least, it wasn't his fault why Arizona lost those games. And so I see a game like this. Could he make things interesting? I mean, he went into Dallas and took care of Dallas. Hell, all 3 phases looked good for Arizona against Dallas. Which is a lot, because Dallas has a great offense, and Arizona shut them down. So, can they shut down another great offense in Seattle? We'll see what they do. Because you'd think Seattle's offense would be fine. JSN looks like an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. Torrey Horton looks like a great piece. Cooper Kupp, when he's healthy, looks fine. But Seattle's like, fuck it. Let's go get another weapon. Let's go grab Rashid Shaheed. Because we think we can make some noise, so why not add a true deep threat to our offense? Fuck it. Send it to the moon. So Seattle's definitely trying. And I think Sam Darnold's going to be looking at himself like, yes, last year was last year. I learned, I'm better. Let's just keep moving with it. And again, Arizona, good win against Dallas, but I don't think many people are too high on Dallas to begin with anyway. So with that, division game for division's sake, I'm going to take Seattle to win. Even though the funny thing is Seattle is such a better road team than they are a home team. I don't get it. I don't know how it works. But they just seem so much better on the road than at home. Which almost makes you wonder, should Seattle settle for the 5 seed and let the Rams take the division? Because if they're a better road team, imagine would it benefit them more to be the road team for the playoffs? Go into whoever the 4 seed is and then go play the 1 or 2 seed? Would it benefit them? Who knows? But that said, and again, division game for division's sake, and not because I do like what Jacoby does. I do like what he does. I will give them plus 6.5. I'm going to give Arizona that respect because I like what Jacoby's doing. It's a divisional game, and again, like we said, Seattle, for whatever reason, plays better on the road than at home. I don't know why. I don't know how it works. Mike McDonald, I don't get it. They should win this game, and because it's Arizona, they should win by a touchdown. But because they're a home team, and for whatever reason, they're not as good at home as they're on the road, and Jacoby Brissett, he's got aura, he's got vibes, makes Arizona respectable, makes them competitive. I'm going to give Arizona the cover. Total game is 45.5. Seattle got a shiny new toy, so I think they're going to try an offense. Jacoby Brissett makes the offense look better than Kyler did. I'm going to go the over here. I'm going to go the over. I think this realistically is a game like, can you see both teams get to 20? Yes. Could you see both teams at 23? They probably could. So you're looking at a 27-23 game, 26-23 game, even 27-20. I think you could get there. I think you could very well get there. So yeah, give me the over 45.5. The game got to 43 with Kyler doing God knows what, fumbling around like an idiot half the time. So yeah, Seattle to win. I'll take Arizona to cover. Kyler Murray on IR, so he's going to be out for even another 4 more weeks. So it's Jacoby's show. Time for him to advertise himself, see if he can get another paycheck elsewhere. But yeah, Arizona should be off of Kyler after this season. Arizona needs to move on from Kyler. Miami needs to move on from Tua. Eat the contract. If Denver can eat Russell's contract and be where they are now, Miami, you can do the same damn thing. Same damn thing. Nate, I like to hear about penalty. Taylor, my king. Well, He wasn't last week. Got shut down by Pittsburgh pretty good. But it's only 1 week. No way it happens again, right? Right? Yeah, LOA has been cursed for me. It's been cursed for the last, what is this, 6 years now? Gonna be 6 years I probably missed the playoffs. Y'all have cursed me in the LOA, I swear. Anyway, next game we have the other NFC West matchup, where the Rams are going to San Fran to take on the Niners. Rams are a 4.5 point favorite on the road, and the total's up to 49.5. We all remember the Thursday night game where San Fran got the better of LA. But we're also now acknowledging as well Mac Jones seems to be working really well for San Fran in general. Granted, they're all getting injured to hell and back, but San Fran still looks respectable. And honestly, Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan gets the guy he wants, and he's making it work. There's injuries all around, but he's making it work. I guess that's what happened when Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. You can kind of eat up everything else. You can eat up no Brock. You can eat up no Ricky. You can eat up inconsistencies with Jawan Jennings. You can eat up Kittle not being there for a couple of weeks. You can eat them up. You got Christian McCaffrey. He'll take care of it. He's top 10 in rushing and receiving yards. Top 10 in rushing yards, top 10 in receiving yards. Probably leads the league in scrimmage yards. I think JT might have that still, but he's right there. He's right there. Ugh. But I'm just going to go off vibes. I don't think the Niners will sweep the Rams. I think the Rams, top to bottom, are a better team. I think the Rams are going to realize their mistakes. And I think, it was Kyron's fumbles mostly that cost them that game. But I think the Rams will realize their mistakes. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll bounce back. Looking how wide open the NFC is, the Rams are a legit team. Like, we can talk about Detroit, we can talk about Green Bay, we can talk about Philadelphia. The Rams are the team that I think people need to watch. And I mean, I'm sure there's some Vegas shit out there saying that the Rams are the favorite or whatever now, but like, I think they're the team. And look at Matthew Stafford's stats. Go actually take a chance to look at his stats. Matthew Stafford might legitimately be the MVP right now. I mean, if you want to be a stick in the ass, you could argue JT and JSN are probably more realistic MVP candidates, but like, Stafford, I'll say this, Stafford deserves it more than Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, who keep being told they're the favorites for whatever goddamn reason. Stafford definitely deserves it more than those two right now. But the NFL, you know how they're going to be. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. No. But again, Rams are favored by 4.5, division game for division's sake. And, as long as San Francisco got Christian McCaffrey, they'll figure something out. I'll give San Fran plus 4.5. This could very well be a 3-point game. Again. This could very well go into overtime. Again. Even despite all their injuries, I think San Fran will keep it close. Because San Fran just has something against LA. They always do. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Kyle Shanahan's record against Sean McVay is a very, very one-sided affair. I'm pretty sure. Don't game at 49.5. That's a lot of points. I can't do it. That's too many points. Basically, could the Rams get to 30? Yes. If they're going to cover plus 40 half, it's got to be like a 20-something, but then you're close to 60 there. So I'm going to bank on San Fran, whatever defense they have left, or defensive scheme they have left, to make it so the Rams don't get to 30. Maybe a 27 will be fine, because you get 27. You're not covering the spread with 27. I don't know. I'm going to lean more on the likelihood that the Rams cover 4.5 and that game going over. But for betting sake, I'm going to leave it there. So, yeah. Rams to win, Niners to cover. I'm still taking under 49.5. I'd rather live on that pedestal. So yeah, let's go 26, 22. Let's get a 22 in there. Fuck it. It's funny. It's entertaining. And what are we if we're not entertaining? 26, 22. Next thing we have a game that should have been interesting, but of course injuries and DC being a hilarious organization at failing their high draft pick quarterbacks. It's probably going to be a bloodbath. The Lions are in DC taking on the Commanders. The Lions are the 8.5-point favorites at home, and the total's at 48.5. Mariota is getting the start for Jaden Daniels, who will probably be shut down for the year. We don't know the severity of the injury, but he'll probably be out for a couple of weeks, to say the very least. And I'm going to be real. Even if Jaden was playing, I got to imagine Detroit's thinking, damn, we let Minnesota get away with all sorts of shit. They shut us down. We need to get back, right, game? And with DC being down as bad as they are, Luke McCaffrey gone, Terry McLaurin, who knows what the fuck's his status at, Jaden's gone, Marshawn Lattimore, who hasn't even been good for us since he got here, he's gone. So, we don't know what the fuck's going on. Which, speaking of which, I see, again, Nathan in the chat. He sounds like he left, but if he does come back, or does watch the stream at a later point, say what you want. Humphrey is definitely the winner of the cornerbacks of that draft class between him, Lattimore, and Tre'Davious White, and the other guys that were drafted in that draft class, but we won't talk about them. Stayed on his team the longest. Still been a top player the longest. Still been consistent. Has more first-team All-Pros than both of them. Has more Pro Bowlers than both of them. So, Marshawn can have his Rookie of the Year, but Humphrey's been the better player through and through. And even now, still has a career. But yeah, I'm gonna be so real. I'm expecting an ass whooping here. I'm expecting Detroit. They're gonna want to get back. They want to get feel good. Maybe there's some players that are thinking about that playoff loss to DC, and it's like, okay, we need to show y'all who we are. And with everyone injured, it's gonna be ugly. 8.5 points. That feels like mercy. And if this was in Detroit, God, who knows what that spread would be. I'm expecting an ass. As much as I want to support Mariota, I'm expecting an ass whooping. It is not gonna be pretty. To the point I see that 40.5. I would not be shocked if Detroit got that by themselves. It's risky because who knows what DC is going to give us because they have no fucking weapons. So Mariota's going to be fighting for his life, throwing to Debo and fuck all. God knows what. But yeah, Detroit bloodbath in DC. Like, I think it'll be worse than what Seattle did. I think it will genuinely be worse than what Seattle did. I'm talking also between Jameer and David, they might combine for more than 200 rush yards by themselves. Then throw in 300 pass yards from Jared. It is not going to be pretty. So yeah, Lions to win, Lions to cover, give me over 40.5. This could very well be 50 to 7. 50 to 10. This could very well get there. It will not be pretty. 2 more games to go. We have the Sunday night game. Pittsburgh's in LA taking on the Chargers. Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home, and the total is at 45.5. Chargers being the favorite by 3 tells me that this game is pretty much even Stevens to everyone. Within Pittsburgh will be a 3-point favorite. It's pretty even Steven. Shout out to Pittsburgh. They got a critical win, and were able to make some noise saying, hey, we can compete with Indy. So all these other teams, Denver, New England, we beat New England. Pittsburgh beat New England earlier this year. We've beaten these top teams. We're right here. We're not dead yet. I mean, we know the Mike Tomlin thing is going to Mike Tomlin itself, but Pittsburgh's right there. They won't go away. They're not dead. And Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than anyone they've had in the last 4 years. 5, 6, 7. Whenever Ben got past his prime, it was rusty as hell. But hey, we're right there. We can make noise. In LA, I can't even lie. You lost Joe Alt. Trading for Trevor Penning might help. But I think this O-line is in major trouble. And now you get a game against TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. I'm gonna be so for real. I don't think Justin Herbert's gonna have much of a chance. They gotta do quick game because that O-line is not going to survive that Pittsburgh pass rush. They're not gonna. So they gotta go quick game. Run game's gotta find a way to get going early, or otherwise they're in a load of trouble. And it's because of that I have Pittsburgh winning this game. If Joe Alt was healthy, I do think Chargers are the better team. But with Joe Alt gone, I don't know what I'm going to get with Trevor Penning. Probably not nearly as good as Joe Alt, so yeah. I think it's going to be bad. I think it'll be competitive. I think this game will still be interesting. But I think that's the difference maker, not having Joe Alt out there. So, again, Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, whoever else you want to put on that edge, they're going to have a field day. So, give me Pittsburgh to win. Chargers are favored by 3, so give me the +3 for Pittsburgh. 45.5 is tricky, because I still think LA could get something, but how much can they get? I don't know the answer to that. It could really go either way. I think the Chargers still put up some points, but I think that defense probably gets a critical turnover that helps Pittsburgh get some more points and enough points to take it away from them. I'm going to go over. Give me over 45.5 in this game. A very 24-23. I think it's close. I think it's competitive. But I think Herbert's going to get screwed out of possibly better plays because of not having time to throw the ball. I do think it comes down to that. So Pittsburgh to win, cover +3, over 45.5. Final game of the week, and a final happy birthday to myself. My birthday falls on the Monday, so I get the Monday night game of Philadelphia in Green Bay. Packers, I don't know what the fuck you are. Philly, you should be a dominant team, but you're too inconsistent at times that it confuses me. But you were on the bye last week, so I can't really think about what you've been up to recently. So this game could really go plenty of ways here. It could. And I want to take Green Bay. My heart leans on Green Bay being the better team. But they're just so goddamn inconsistent. It frustrates me. It frustrates me to no end. And I won't lie to you guys, before I started this recording, I was probably going to lean Green Bay. But I'm looking at my board here. I see Jacksonville, and I see Pitt. And as much as I like to throw middle fingers to the rule of 4, I see an uneven schedule with a rule of 4 that hasn't been covered. So here's the dilemma, Justin. Do I follow your rule of 4 and go against Green Bay, or do I pick your team to get a critical tiebreaker, bounce back from a dud of a performance against Carolina, and see what happens? I mean, I'm already going against the rule of 4 anyway. I've only picked 2, so it doesn't fucking matter. So that said, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5. Of the games I've picked, 5 winners, or 5 favorites I've picked, I didn't pick them to cover their spreads. So, this is probably going to be a bad spread week for me anyway. But for you, Justin, in an ironic, funny way, because of it, I'm 50-50 on this game. And also because Toyotathon doesn't start for another 2 weeks, I'm going to lean on Philadelphia to go into Green Bay and win this game. Literally non-football reasons, but that's how that works. Funny how things work, don't they? If Green Bay's on one, I think they are a top 3 team in the NFL. Problem is, half the time they don't want to be on one. They don't want to do anything. I'm not going to give their defense credit because I don't give Carolina's offense credit. So I don't know what to do with you. I don't. Philly, they've had the bye week. They get an extra rest too, so they'll probably be a rusty first quarter, rusty first half. But I think they find a way to pull it together in the second half. So, yeah. For those reasons I've explained, demonstrated, and blah, 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 I'm taking Philly. I'll take the plus 2.5 too, and I'll roll with it. And for the 44.5, I do think both offenses are fine. I think both offenses are great. I think they should make noise. I think this game could definitely go either way. But at 44.5, I feel it's low enough. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to run with it. Philly goes into Green Bay, beats the Packers, covers plus 2.5, and goes above the 44.5 total. And let's go over these picks one more time to show you what I finalized as my predictions. And not going back on any of them. Denver wins the home game, but the Raiders cover 8.5 on Thursday Night Football, going over 42.5. I have the Colts winning the neutral side game against the Falcons, covering 6.5 and going under 48.5. I have the Jaguars going into Houston and beating backup Davis Mills and the Texans, covering plus 1.5, but staying under 37.5 points. I have the Bears winning at home, but the Giants covering plus 4.5 in a game that stays under 47.5. I have the Ravens going into Minnesota to beat the Vikings, covering minus 4.5, but staying under 48.5 points. I have Cleveland going into New York and beating the Jets, covering their 2.5 spread, but also staying under 37.5. There's going to be a lot of snooze fest during the early window, if you haven't been able to tell yet. I have Carolina winning their home game against the Saints, but I'll have New Orleans covering plus 5.5 in a game that stays under 39.5 points. I have Buffalo going into Miami and putting belt to ass on the Dolphins, covering 9.5, but keeping it under 49.5 points. I have Tampa Bay winning at home and covering 2.5 against New England in a game that goes over 48.5. I expect this to probably be the highest scoring game of the week. I have Seattle winning their home game against Arizona, but for division's sake, I'm going to have Arizona cover plus 6.5, and that total goes over 45.5. Same thing for the other divisional game. I have the Rams, who are the road team, winning in San Francisco over the Niners, but I'll have San Fran covering plus 4.5 in a game that goes under 49.5 points. I have the Lions winning and putting belt to ass on DC. Again, I think this will probably be the largest margin of victory in the game, though Buffalo and Miami could be a close second. We'll see what Buffalo's feeling. But Lions to win. Lions are going to cover the 8.5 spread I have for them. That's totally going to go over 48.5. I would not be shocked if Detroit covered that number by themselves. I have Pittsburgh winning and covering plus 3 on the road against the Chargers, in a game that goes over 45.5 points. And I have Philadelphia going into Green Bay, covering plus 2.5, winning that game outright up for the upset, and going over 44.5 points. Those are your Week 10 picks made live before you all. And because I actually wrote this down finally, we can take a look into fantasy. I lost all 3 weeks. All were all belt to asses. Bye weeks, losing Cam Scatterboo, so I had to go to backup running backs. I'm not very loaded in my running back position in any of these leagues, so losing Cam hurt a lot. So yeah. LOA, I'm now down to 1-8. Really good chance I miss the playoffs. But I got a matchup against Chris, who also has a losing record, so maybe I can find some momentum. Maybe I can get things going. I'm already going to end the season with a losing record, so might as well try to pull off some upsets and take away some fun for people while I can. Ante & Co. League, another loss, but it only drops me down to 5-4, so I'm still in the mix for things. Again, just need health and things to bounce my way. I'm going up against Tyler, who I believe is also 5-4. I didn't write any of that down, so whoops. And in the Professional Dynasty League, another loss, dropped me to 3-6. Right now, currently on the outside looking in, but still plenty of weeks to go. And I'm playing against Gavin, who was trying to talk shit earlier in one of the league's group chats. Nice try, Gavin. I'm right here, and I stand on business. And that is everything covered on my beautiful Week 10 2025 notebook. And my mouth is very dry, but that's going to be all from me. Thank you all for tuning in to the Week 10 picks. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I don't imagine many people continue to perform the live streams when I do them, but they're mostly there for you when you wake up the next morning to watch the picks then. I wish I had more time and I wasn't lazy and I'd timestamp it like Justin would, but oh well. Make sure you follow me on my Twitter, CanadianCatCP, Instagram, Blind Canadian Cat. I'm streaming here on YouTube more than I am on Twitch, so whatever. I have a Tumblr. I have a Blue Sky. They're both under Blind Canadian Cat. They exist. I can't promise I'm on them consistently, but they exist. And that is all for me. Enjoy the games. Enjoy your weekend. Again, congratulations to the Dodgers for winning the World Series. Congratulations to BC for winning the playoff game and being in the final 4 in the CFL. Shout out to the Blazers, who handed Oklahoma City their first loss, I just realized a couple hours ago. So shout out Portland. And that's all I got. I'll see y'all in the next week's video. Choose peace, accept love, and have big trust. Woot, woot. Goodbye, everybody.